Ball every season. Ball every season. Ball every season. Everything super around me, yeah, that's guaranteed. We ball every season. Ball every season. Ball every season. Keep it 10K with the team, be like a regime. We ball every season.
Welcome back to Sports Minds, y'all, with your hosts, Legendarius and Haskmaster Z. And we're here to speak ball every season because 'tis the season of great givens. Because we're going to get good football this weekend. So, Legendarius, you want to kick us off? Tell everybody what's on the slate for today.
Football, and more football. Basketball, you know what
I don't give a piss about nothing but the time.
Basketball, you know what time it is. It's time for you to take a back seat for this next month. We'll talk about you mid-February.
Yes,
Till
sir.
then is football. And like you said, I don't give a piss about nothing but the time. Hey, remember when Florida State was crying that they got robbed? They got robbed from
and also it was questioning.
Playoffs.
Yep, it was questioning like, oh, we went undefeated, so if another team's quarterback gets hurt, should they be out of the playoffs too? Probably. I don't know.
Cares?
But
we lost 63-7.
Right. And 63 to no, I'm sorry.
My bad.
63 to 3.
63 to 3, that's right.
They lost by 60 points. And the thing was, okay, the fact that they had the audacity to keep talking about Bama after they got smacked by 60 points.
Yeah.
And then
Bro, the players were on live. The Georgia players were on IG Live before the game was over. Go ahead. Let's go live for a minute. We killing these niggas. I'm done for the day.
Right. Like, this is a stat game. And, but this is, all right, so I know that not everybody agrees with the decisions that the committee makes, but this was one of those ones. All right, do you want something like TSU to happen again? No. Like, nobody wants to see a team that's outmatched or anything like that in a 4-team playoffs. 12-team, all right, whatever. We'll see what we can do. But in the 4-team, Florida was even with homeboy healthy. I don't think they were the top 4 teams in it.
If they had him though, I would respect it. It's like, all right, you can have.
Yeah, I respect it, but I don't think they would have made it still.
Oh yeah, I agree. I don't think they would have made it still, regardless.
Right.
On top of it, it's like it's not even gonna matter. Now it's 12-team playoffs, so now we'll see what's good. But when you had your chance, to show you belong, which is what you would think a coach would be like preaching to his players, like, yo, we got robbed. You have to go out here and show them we belong. And it's like, bro, you lost by 60 points.
Yeah, and then everything you say next year is going to be a joke because no one's going to want to listen to you. It's like, no, you had your chance. I don't care that it was a bowl game and it didn't matter because if you want, if you had the dog in you, everybody would have been out there and been like, yo, I'm trying to play. I'm trying to show everybody what I can do, because we belong and we were robbed.
Yeah.
Fell flat on your face.
But I will say my pick that I've been rolling with, for months, Michigan. Ain't nobody beating Michigan, bro.
No.
That defense is disgusting. And I will say, even though like the game was kind of like up in the balance a little bit, I was just like, yo, how is it that I feel like without fail, a game like they'd be like, you know what, we can't score, we can't move the ball. And it's like, all right, you have 2 minutes left. It's like, all right, I'm gonna go all the way down the field and score. Like what? Bro, like they couldn't move the ball the entire second half, and then the last 2-minute drill was like, all right, got you, let's go.
Right. It was like, wait, what's the score? All right, come on, guys, let's actually score.
Yeah.
We're done playing hardball ball, running the ball down people's throats. But the one thing, when it comes to Michigan, right? Well, when it comes to Michigan versus Washington coming up, somebody, I think it was Joe Clapp, somebody like that, really just put Michigan in the best, like the best way to describe their play style is Michigan's going to beat you in one of four ways. So if JJ McCarthy has to sling the ball around, they could do that. If they're going to run the ball down your throat, okay. And then like the game could be as pretty as you want it or as ugly as it can be. You know, like, and I think that's going to be the main difference because Washington, it's like, all right, Penix, you got to go off.
Yeah, but even if Penix goes off, I feel like
Washington,
will find a way.
Michigan's defense, yeah.
But I do gotta say, because I said this, Penix clearly the Heisman got robbed. Jaden Daniels is buns, and the fact that Penix didn't get the Heisman is ridiculous. And he balled out against Texas, put on for his hood as he shouted him out after the game. But I'm sorry, brother, you ain't winning this one.
Basically, and it, you know, and that's the thing, like, you know, because I remember Jaden Daniels actually over at Arizona, and I was like, oh, he's okay, but he's probably not an NFL quarterback at all. And then
he's like he's gonna be like a top 6 QB drafted, and I'm like, all right, draft him, but he's not the guy.
Right. I would say you've watched him for years, so
I did, and even like that's the thing that's ridiculous with this Heisman. Bro, LSU went 9-4. They're in the SEC. They didn't beat a single like good SEC team, and for some reason they have like this easy record. Like they play like Rice, put up 60 points. Played Army,
Grambling
put up 60 points. Yeah, Grambling put up 60 points. It's like, oh yeah, you're putting up numbers against these scrub teams, but then when you got to play a good team, you do nothing.
Yeah, I think it was mainly because I think people were just enamored by his speed and athletic. I mean, he's a great athlete, but it was just one of those. Okay.
He's a great college athlete, but that ain't gonna translate. You see how skinny he is? That dude's about to get knocked. Like, come on, look at Anthony Richardson. How big Anthony Richardson is. He's out.
Right. No, I get you. And look how big Lamar had to get. Yeah. And but I will say this. You know, it's funny that we're getting into the Heisman discrepancies where we acknowledge that stats aren't everything, which we'll get into a little bit later in the NFL stuff because, you know, Legendarius and Hassmaster got to reteach America on what an MVP is because clearly Jaden Daniels, cool, great numbers against shits. You know, you might as well just say, you know, NFL comparison is all right. Dak Prescott, you're beating up on all these bad teams, but when it comes to the real SEC teams, I don't know, the Niners and Eagles, you couldn't do it. You know, and it's like it's the same situation where you're, you know, where we're so enamored with stats or who balled out, quote unquote. You know, by looking at the stat sheet, when all you have to do is just turn on the tape with the best games, you know, and seeing who pops in those big moments. And if you're not popping, you're not going to get my vote. And Penix, I've seen it. I've seen this man ball out all season against top tier competition.
Yeah.
So
agreed.
They beat Oregon, man. Oregon, I think, or close.
So gotta respect it, but you kind of foreshadowed it. So let's talk about it. Let's get into these NFL. There's a lot of NFL. You know, we weren't here last week. It was Christmas. We were, you know, doing our thing with our families. But before we left, you know, I was in my crystal ball. I told you what was gonna happen. I said the Ravens gonna beat the Niners, and then they gonna beat the Dolphins, and they gonna clinch the #1 seed. They ain't gonna have to play the Steelers, or they ain't gonna have to play their starters against the Steelers, and they gonna have to bye. And what happened? What happened? Let's talk about real quick before I get into the Dolphins beat down, because I told you we were gonna get our revenge on the Dolphins from last year because we gave it up to them. Let's talk about the Niners real quick, because all I saw after the Ravens stomped the Niners by 2 touchdowns in San Francisco on Christmas was about oh well, actually we outgained them on the ground and through the air, and it's just the turnovers. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that. If you turn the ball over and give teams short fields, that they still have to go the same distance when they're not turning the ball over against you. You know,
Hmm.
it's
Yeah, that's so
very interesting
so
because
weird on how football works like that,
turn the ball over
And
and
it's
I
like
have a short field. Like, wouldn't I have less yards than you?
exactly. And then not only that, the thing that makes it silly is they make it seem like any quarterback could have, cashed in on those turnovers. And when we've seen plenty of NFL games where, oh, actually, let's talk about the Jets situation. You think Zach Wilson, gifted 4 turnovers, would have been able to win that game? Yes or no?
Absolutely.
No. uh, like, and then you go any bottom tier quarterback, any mid tier quarterback, mid tiers, that's where you get 50-50. Even into the top 10, it's gonna be 50-50, especially against that defense. But the Baltimore Ravens, they play careful. I would say they play team football. So, and then Lamar, we already talked about it. He was the best player. He was the best player on the field. Period. He popped.
Yeah.
Like,
Then they wanted to point out, it was like, well, it wasn't really him because clearly they didn't watch the game. They just decided to look at the box score after, and
right.
it's like, well, like his numbers weren't that impressive because I wasn't actually paying attention to the game where literally the defense couldn't like get to him and he kept extending plays and converting on first downs, and instead of like caring about his stats, he just like, what, I'm gonna hand the ball off and let Gus Bus get these touchdowns because they're over compensating for my ability to run. So it's just like,
Right.
I can just hand it off and get the touchdown, then I'm gonna do that. I don't need the stats. But then we
Yeah.
have these clowns the next week talking about, I just don't think he's quarterbacky enough. Okay, okay. So what I'm gonna do is,
No.
for the AFC, number one seed, I'm gonna be quarterbacky for you, and I'm gonna throw 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, while we beat up on the number 2 team in the AFC 56-14. Is that what it was? I forgot. I lost
56,
count.
19.
I turned it
Either
off
way,
once we got to
they
49.
right. Yeah, same. uh, and that's why I think this year is truly the year of Lamar. Um, and I mean, honestly, this podcast has been on it all season. Despite the touchdown numbers, blah blah. We don't give a shit about numbers. It's about situations. Originally, okay, cool. CMC, Tyreek Hill, they were really good candidates for a minute, and then what happened? If you're an MVP candidate, and this goes for any running back that won it, you are the deciding factor in these type of big games. In the big games, if you're going like your teams are either in it or you run your teams back into the game, and then everyone knows the ball's going to you and you score. Um, Adrian Peterson, they went 12-4, but it's like Christian fucking Ponder, nobody cares. And then when you get into Tyreek Hill, all right, you got hurt one week, and then we should give it to Tyreek Hill or Tua because their stats are better. 56-19. I don't give a fuck how good your stats are. 56-19. That's not
The number one seed on the line too. Like,
right.
context
That's
matters.
a pressure. That's a playoff game.
Yeah.
That's a playoff game. You like if you are what you think you are as a number 2 seed or MVP candidates, you know, you got to make the difference. And Lamar made the difference both weeks.
Yeah.
So, and he's 9-1 against teams over 500 this year, or was it 10 wins against teams over 500 this year? Either way, it's the most in history.
Yeah. So we can't talk about, soft schedule, none of that. We just putting in, we just been doing our job all year, and it ain't gonna stop.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Oh, by the way, as we get into this next segment, can you recognize that I'm reporting as eligible?
Oh, yeah, sure. You are. I got you. Number 68. Austin. 70. 70 did it, so it doesn't count. Yeah, okay. I'm glad we're talking about that. Cowboys low key got away with one. No, not low key, high key. I'm tired of these fucking refs, man.
Yeah.
And I'm not, and this is not even like the Kadarius Toney situation because he's an idiot. He should have checked in with the ref. The fact is, and I believe the Lions players because they're the Lions. They want to, like, you know what I mean? Like, the fuck? What do they got to lie for? I went up to the refs and said, "Hey, 68 is eligible. I'm 68. I'm eligible. Sure, I got you, Chief. Gotcha. 68." After the play, no, it was 70. How you gonna tell them what they told you?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. And then it just kind of like, it just, I don't know. Like, this game was kind of like that type of game where it's like, yeah, we won, but it's like bittersweet. Whereas I'm like, oh, well, that's bulletin board material for the Lions.
But I will say at the same time, because obviously we can, and everyone wants to take it down to the last play of the game, and I love to troll the Cowboys, but I will say it's like, Lions, you got gifted another chance with that CeeDee Lamb touchback because that was very like bang bang, should have been incomplete pass, in my opinion. So
Yeah.
it evened out at the end, and also you could have kicked the field goal and went to overtime. Like, credit to you for going for two to try to get the dub, but at the same time, it's just like, come on, dude, you guys got gifted a touchback that was going to be a touchdown, which would have essentially ended the game anyway.
Yeah, that too. But it's like what NFL, football games are 60 minutes anyway. And I'm on Raw. St. Brown was robbed in the Pro Bowl, so just wanted to say that.
Nobody wants to watch that shit anyway.
Yeah, I know. I know. But on the real stuff, Dallas. Our defense looks. I mean, our defense looks pretty good. Dak hasn't done anything to where I'm like, oh shit, are we ready? It's more of like, I think it's the run game that scares me the most. Dowdle, I don't know, he's healing up as of right now. Tony Pollard just honestly, what?
I'm sorry. Bruh, Jokic just hit a game winner off the backboard against the Warriors. Fuck these niggas. You love to see it from like 35 feet.
Damn.
Yeah, bruh. That's going to be on SportsCenter, or, that's going to be on social media, all that. So just we're recording live. I ain't cutting this out. Jokic off the backboard. Steph Curry chewing his mouthpiece like, damn it, that's my move. Go to sleep.
But yeah, so Tony Pollard just, the thing that's messed up is I talked about this most of the early season, like, hey, let's get Jonathan Taylor, let's get Derrick Henry. We need a bigger back, a number one back. Tony Pollard's the spell. Like, I'm not saying he's not that guy, but he's not the Cowboys guy, meaning like the number one guy. So, and it's been showing the last couple of weeks where I'm like, every time we need those hard yards and whatnot, yeah, Dowdle's cool, but it's like, it's Dowdle. We need explosion. Tony Pollard hasn't been explosive this year. Yeah, broken leg, but it's like, he's better as a number two versus a number one. And I think that's going to be the scariest thing in the playoffs. And no, I mean, you're still playing. You still need to be explosive.
But again, like, you're not going to be like, I didn't break my leg fucking 10 months ago. I'm back, guys. Like, that was a bad.
Yeah, right. I know. I know. I'm not expecting him to run like 4.3, but I'm just like, there has to be some type of burst. But that's why you get the insurance. That's exactly why you get the insurance.
So I'd say it's more on Dallas than on Pollard. It's just like, I mean, bro, broke it. Wasn't it against the Niners in the playoff game?
Yeah.
So it's just
We
like,
should have got Dalvin Cook, and then we lost.
yeah,
I lost out to the Ravens. So
and it's a nice name, but Dalvin Cook needs to stay on the bench as far as I'm concerned.
I think it's not a camp body, but like, hey, insurance just in case.
Just in case another one of our running backs go down, then we can use it. But if that is then I'm not trying to insert Cook into the mix, especially with his history of fumbling. It's like, we don't need that. With you learning a new playbook, we don't need that. So
right.
Oh, and Andrew's supposed to be back for the playoffs. Just saying.
Oh, yep. I heard about that. How you feeling?
Oh, I love it. I'm on cloud 9 right now. This is what I predicted. I told you 2024 is our year. It was 2012. It was 2000. Now it's 2024. This is our year.
All right. All right.
He's gotta take care of business.
Did we have any other games, in week 17 that we want to talk about, or should we just hop to, week 18?
Let's see. Oh, we gotta talk about the Eagles trolling.
Ooh. So all right, America, for those who don't know, Philadelphia lost 4 of their last 5. I had a feeling that Cardinals were going to sneak up. I thought it was going to be close, as in like Cardinals losing close, because that's what I said. But the Cardinals won, and the Eagles are reeling. We do it throughout all the freaking mid-season changes, like getting rid of Desai and Matt Patricia replacing him. Like, no, he has no credentials. Why would you do that? Darius Slay been in and out of the lineup due to injuries. Jalen Hurts. It's like Jalen Hurts is still like athletic, but it's like, I don't know, just something off. And for those who don't watch, NFL film study and whatnot, Greg, Cosell, it's like, hey, the Eagles like to run a certain offense that mirrors each other to give Jalen Hurts easier reads. Now that that's not there this year because Shane Steichen's gone, it's been a little bit harder for him. And then with this last couple of weeks, it's more of like he's pressing. And you can definitely see that, and that's why A.J. Brown has been talking more and being more of a distraction. And then you got Devontae Smith even saying, like, even though we won, like, we're not good at all. Philadelphia's crumbling. Yeah. I don't know if they're getting fired because they should not, but it's just like one of those years where it's like, hey, this is just not your year.
No, I think the OC's got to go.
Oh, yeah.
It's terrible.
I meant like anybody getting fired, meaning Nick Sirianni.
Oh, no, Sirianni's straight, but the OC's got to go. I was saying that from, I don't even know, week
3.
Week 3, yeah. It was just like, that dude has no idea what he's doing. And, even if Jalen Hurts is like, yo, I want to pass the ball more, it's like, well, that's nice to hear, but our identity is running the ball, so we're going to do that.
Right, exactly. And then it's like, and it's one of those things where I think, I don't know, man, like the push shit, the 1-yard touchdowns. It's like, oh, Jalen Hurts ran for his 15th touchdown this year. And it's like, all right, how many of those were at like the 1-inch yard, yard line or whatever? Yeah. I think with their whole offseason this upcoming offseason, it's going to be like, all right, let's find an offensive coordinator that knows how to utilize A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Jalen Hurts like 2021 or 2022. So if we could get back to that, coupled with our power run game where they complement each other, then we're back to being dangerous. And then, of course, the defense has been god-awful in the linebacker levels, and the front seven hasn't been getting much pressure this year that compared to last year. I mean, it's hard to get 70 fucking sacks, but it's like now is like we're in week 18, they have 45, so that's like less than 1 or 2 a game. Oh no, that's less than like 3 a game. Sorry.
Yeah.
So 2.5 sacks a game.
Yeah. Hargraves. But I mean, it still doesn't make sense because they got Jalen Carter. So
Right, and that's the crazy part. It's like, oh, well, this guy, but they have this dude, and it's not like. I mean, but at the same time, shit. This is the Super Bowl hangover. We expected them to fall apart at some point.
that's true. Oh, and we gotta talk about my Saints staying alive on the road against the wall,
My God.
handing it to the Bucks. What up?
Yeah, well, all right, Atlanta fell apart. Atlanta fell a fucking apart. Yeah.
Atlanta
And
will not be winning the division now, in case you're wondering.
yeah. So, and I know I forgot what the bet was, but
well, you are now a Buccaneers fan because we said that if neither the Saints or the Falcons win the division, then the bet is off.
Oh yeah, we're doing that. I mean, let's go Tampa Baker, baby.
All you gotta do is beat the Panthers,
Yeah, exactly. That's all we need to do. Hopefully David Tepper doesn't throw like fucking acid on anyone. So, but on the real stuff, honestly, it was disappointing. Not because I lost. It's more of like New Orleans. Tampa Bay was hitting up the streak, and then Baker Mayfield was getting not really flowers, but more of like, hey, okay, I'm gonna give you props for doing your job, playing solid football. You're a solid quarterback. And then when it comes to pressure time, this is a pressure cooker. You win this, you're in this type shit. He shits the bed, and you're like, oh, so maybe the brights were, maybe the lights were a little too bright. So that's a little disappointing.
Hey, I'll say this. I'll say two things. Number one, Arthur Smith has to go.
He has to go.
Number two, I told you Dez is mid.
So I never said he was good. I just thought, like, hey, if you're under this offensive coach, maybe you'll be all right. Nah, that motherfucker is trash. Like the the fact that Mac Hollins almost beat your ass on the sideline for being trash.
Exactly.
And then how do you Arthur Smith needs to go just because whoever said we don't want Lamar or we're not going to try for Lamar, you need to go. And then not only that, you went out and free agency and got Taylor Heineke when you probably could have gotten I don't know, Derek Carr, see who else. Jameis Winston, other people out there that could probably run your offense a lot better. Like you don't have to have a dink and dunk quarterback. You can have somebody that could stretch the ball downfield. Carson Wentz was available. Joe Flacco was available, even though Arthur Smith does like a more mobile person, not like a runner, but a mobile person. But it's like you had opportunities to upgrade your team and you chose not to. You chose to be mediocre, and that's why the Atlanta Falcons, until further notice, will be in the same spot that they always are, where they're not awful to get a top, 1 to 5 pick, or maybe a top 10, but they'll always be like right in that mediocre spot, 10 to 13, to where they won too much because they're not awful, but they're not great. I wouldn't call them good. They're just mediocre.
Agreed. But I told you, I haven't trusted the Falcons for years.
Yeah.
We'll continue with that,
I learned my lesson.
Exactly. I was like, bro, the Falcons? Come on, man. Oh, all right. So before we get into the playoff picture, we just gotta talk about. Imagine if you beat the defending Super Bowl champs, and then your coach or management comes up to you and says, "Hey, so about your contract, you need to waive this fee, or we're gonna bench you, or you need to waive this clause, or we're gonna bench you." It's like,
Yeah, I'd be like, motherfucker, you put the clause in there. You agreed to it.
what? Bench me. I'm gonna get paid regardless, buddy.
Right. I was like, you're a loss. I get paid.
Exactly. So, how do you feel about the Broncos just benching Russell Wilson?
Especially over that, I think it's BS. And it's like, yeah, I get it. Financials, you have to think about the business side. Well, no, I'm not a businessman. I'm a football guy. And the thing is, this man, yeah, he may have lost. He may have went 1-5, but what did he do after that? He won 6 or 7 games in a row. They go 1-3. Oh, okay, so 6 games. 6 games in a row, and then they go 1-3, and then you bring this up all of a sudden, like, oh, we're ending, like, okay, we may not make the playoffs, so let's just cut the cord. So were they already eliminated by this point, or are they still? Aren't they still in it? They're still alive, right?
Well, now I believe they are eliminated. No, they're eliminated.
Okay, but
After
yeah, so when they're still in it, it's just more of like, all right, well, we're gonna do this and blah blah, see what else our offense could do. But then it's like, this man threw for 26 touchdowns for you, and this is how we're gonna do him because you don't like how he's running your offense. And the thing that I can't stand about the media, where Travis Kelce put this on right, where it's like they're so ready to get rid of Mike Tomlin because it's like, you've been there for so long and you only have one ring. Mike McCarthy, you ruined Green Bay because you only had one ring with Aaron Rodgers. When we're gonna point the finger over at fucking Sean Payton for winning one ring with just Drew Brees? Like, let's be real. Like, okay, you won one, and that was in 2009.
if we're being
And
real, though, he did get robbed in that.
I was going to mention that 2014. Oh, 2017, 28. Anyway, that egregious ass fucking call.
Yeah.
That actually, if I'm not mistaken, the Saints were robbed 2 years in a row. So, but either way.
No, the year before that, they just played themselves. That was the Stephon Diggs walk off.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, basically bad luck.
Yeah.
So I'll just chalk it up to that. But either way, my thing is like, with Russell Wilson, he's your best option. There should be no reason why we're going to Jared Stidham. If he gets hurt, he gets hurt. Maybe when you're negotiating a contract with a player, you don't include an injury clause. That's not on him. That's on the front office. So I'm glad the NFLPA is stepping in. So,
and I just find it very interesting where it's like, so you didn't fire your defensive coordinator after you gave up 70 points.
Yeah.
But you're gonna bench Russell Wilson.
Just say that out loud. You're benching Russell Wilson. Like, I know he hasn't been the best this year. I know that. I'm not a fool. I watch the games.
Also, it's like there's absolutely zero chance that they were gonna lose to the Chargers with Easton Stick anyway. So it's just like, what are you trying to pump up Jared Stidham because he looked like shit in that game? So you failed.
Yeah.
That's what you were trying to do. And yeah, like at the end of the day, I just feel like it makes the Broncos look worse. And on top of that, now it's just like, if I'm Russell Wilson, who has a no trade clause, I'm not doing the Broncos any favors.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not taking no pay cut. I'm not saying like, oh, you can just trade me here. No. I'm not going to no, bumble scum, fee fi fo fum type team. I'm like, call me back when a team I'm interested in wants me.
Exactly.
That's it. Or you're gonna eat this cap. You're gonna eat this cap.
Yeah,
that's why.
Trade me to Minnesota. You can trade to Atlanta, maybe.
Maybe.
Cleveland, Cleveland can't do it.
Right.
Yes.
Cleveland got their own problems.
Exactly. Like taking to Minnesota, that's it.
You're right. And they're like, it's like, and I'm not here to just be like Russell Wilson's a top 10. Nah, he's top 20, probably being like at 18 or 20. But he's good enough to win you games. That Denver roster has a lot of problems with it, and it's like I just Peyton
really
didn't like him in the first place.
I'm sorry.
That's it.
Jerry Judy's not him. They don't really like Russell Wilson. Cortland Sutton is like really like a number 2 receiver.
Yeah.
But he's made him, a viable.
Hey, it was not even viable. This motherfucker had like the best catches in history in like a 5 to 6 week span. Like every week this is catch of the year, catch of the year, catch of the year. Oh, that was the clutchest catch of the year. And it's all Russell Wilson to Sutton. And I'm like, so we're taking that away? All right, cool. That's on you.
All right, let's get into the last week of the NFL regular season.
Woo!
Yes, sir.
Actually,
we're going to talk about all the games because,
there's a lot of implications.
Exactly. We're going to talk about the ones that matter, and we're going to break down
who's
playing and who's not playing. So the Ravens already clinched the bye. Lamar's not playing. I'm sure they're not going to play any of their starters that have had an injury history. So Hamilton will be out. I expect Humphrey to be out, things like that. So Steelers, they get gifted a win, which means
what if they lose?
Because Mike Tomlin already has another winning season. So we should definitely fire him, right? No. But, Steelers get gifted a win and, they have a shot to get into the playoffs. They still need a little bit of help.
Yep, and we're going to get into that help in a little bit.
No, a little bit. Let's just
now?
Why not?
All right.
Okay. So, for the Steelers, they need a win and a Buffalo loss. They need a win and a Jags loss.
Ooh.
That's pretty much it. Or a win and a Houston-Indy tie, but that game's not going to be a tie.
No, it's not.
So pretty much the Steelers need either the Bills to lose to Miami or they need the Jags to lose to whoever the Jags play. Oh, the Titans.
Tennessee Titans. I don't know, man. These games, like week 1, is where people either are gonna go out guns blazing, or they shit the bed when they don't be shit the bed, meaning like a team with an enormous amount of pressure winning your end situation. Like we've seen plenty of teams falter in this scenario. Chargers 2021.
Well, yeah, and on top of that too, like players that have those incentive contracts, they're gonna be like, "Yo, I'm open." D-Hop has incentives in his contract where I think he needs like 70 something yards. He gets $1 million. Like, there's money on the line. So and on top of that too, it's the Titans. It's Mike Vrabel, Tannehill.
Might be his last game.
Tannehill's playing for his next job as well. Like, I don't think the Titans are just gonna fold at home. So that's gonna be a tough game for the Jags. And the Jags haven't been great lately. Like, yeah, you guys beat up on the Panthers, but it's not hard to do.
Who hasn't? Right. Oh my God. Let's see. So do we make our picks for Texans Colts? Because that's going to be a huge one.
Oh man, I got the Texans. DJ.
All right, me too.
That is Saturday night football prime time. That's about to be a great game.
Oh, I won't be able to watch it. I'll watch a little bit of it, but I'm gonna be at my Sonic the Hedgehog Symphony. Shout out to Sega. Anyway. But I'll be checking updates on my phone. Hell yeah.
You rock Texans as well, or you think the Colts can pull it out? Colts are.
Oh no, I'm riding with the Texans. I'm going with. I think CJ Stroud has shut everybody up from. Oh well, he doesn't really pop. He's an Ohio State quarterback. Oh, he had a low test thingy, and I'm like, what the fuck? Where is this coming from? Oh, okay, well, Bryce Young's the guy. And I'm like, okay. Well, I mean, I didn't know who was going to be great, but I knew that CJ Stroud. If you're telling me he's the most pro ready, that usually equals, oh, he's going to be pretty solid. The thing that I didn't anticipate was that he was going to be well over his, wise beyond his years and throwing dimes like he has and making Nico Collins and Tank Dell freaking household names. So,
exactly.
Yeah, I think I got the Texans. I just believe in DeMeco Ryans and CJ Stroud at this point. Oh, and they're somewhat 500, so DeMeco Ryans Coach of the Year.
Oh my god! If Harbaugh isn't Coach of the Year, it's a tragedy. But anyways, who else we got? Oh, well, the Chiefs are locked into the 3 seed, so Mahomes isn't gonna play. They're playing the Chargers, so they'll probably still win because the Chargers suck. The Browns are back to the 5 seed.
And they're Flacco's not playing.
Yeah, I think Cincy will get the win. I'm sure the coach wants to have a
Bears and Packers.
Oh yeah,
that's a big one. That's a big one.
Packers win and they're in. It's at Lambeau, and the Bears. I mean, it doesn't really make a difference whether they win or lose, but the Bears have been on a roll lately, so
exactly.
I don't think they're just going to. I think the Packers into the playoffs.
This is going to be like the Lions versus the Packers last year.
Possibly.
Huh?
And this is Justin Fields' last hurrah, possibly,
Exactly. And you know what? Fuck it. I'm going Justin Fields. I'm going the Bears. I know I chose the Bears week 1. Man, lost. But I think with the Bears and how they've been playing, the "We Want Fields" chant. I'm just going all, emotion and metaphysical here. I just think that does something to you to where you're like, all right, last game, we're playing spoiler, and this is my audition, not only for the Bears, but for the rest of this fucking league, just in case. Hopefully, if they do get rid of me, they're taking, hey, you might as well trade DJ Moore too, because he's coming with me. So I'm going Bears. Skin of their teeth. 28-27.
This is the hardest game for me to pick.
Yes. And realistically, deep down, I'm like, it could be Packers 31-17. That's the fucked up part. But I'm a stick to 28-27. Bears. Justin Fields, last hurrah.
I gotta say, because I've said it to the listeners, I've been loyal. Jordan Love sucks, bro. I refuse to pick the Packers while Jordan Love is quarterback. Give me the Bears. Justin Fields playing spoiler. Jordan Love have a lot of pressure on his shoulders and miss some throws, whatever it takes. I got the Bears winning.
Yeah. And it's like the crazy thing about these scenarios, and this is why a lot of true veterans sit out week 18 after they clinch. These clinching type scenario games or winning you're in, they're probably more pressure filled than the playoffs themselves.
Yeah.
Or at least if the playoffs is immense pressure, this is a tier below it. But still, it's a lot of pressure because if you lose, the whole season's over because your team didn't perform. Playoffs, it's like you're either playing with house money or you're, hey, we got a job to do. It's one or the other. Let's see what other good games we got.
Well, we got some with just implications on the line. So
yeah,
this is a 2-4. So we got the Saints against the Falcons.
ooh, yep.
Saints win and the Bucks lose, then the Saints win the division.
Saints win, Bucks lose. Okay,
But
gotcha.
also, if
Let's go Falcons.
the Bucks play the Panthers, so it should be a layup.
What Bryce Young play the best game of his fucking life.
I know, right? It's like, I'm not going out a loser. Fuck these guys.
It's for David Tepper.
But then, if the Saints win and Seattle loses, then the Saints get in the playoffs. And Seattle is on the road against the Cardinals.
Fuck.
And Seattle does not look good.
And honestly, I chose the card. I like the chart. I like the Cardinals a lot.
Kyler Murray.
Not Curly Murray. Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray. I think he's reminding everybody how talented and how good he is. And there's a huge difference where, like, even when they were talking about Bryce Young in the draft process, he's short like Kyler Murray. I was like, no, Kyler Murray's built like a fucking running back. Like, he's like, that's a thick dude. That's a big dude. Well, I'm not big, but he's big, And then Bryce Young is just wiry. He's short and wiry. And like he's not athletic like Kyler Murray. He doesn't have Kyler Murray's like, he's what does Shannon Sharp call him? Cat quick. Like that motherfucker's fast. Bryce Young is kind of, but he's not really fast. Like I wouldn't say like, Bryce Young's run over people or run around people. Yeah, I got the Cardinals winning. So, damn it.
Agreed. And then that leaves 2 more games.
Yep, 2 more.
That are just monster. Well, actually, there's 3. So we're going to talk about the NFC East, where the Cowboys are currently sitting at number 1.
NFC East.
Well, in the NFC East, number 2 overall. But Cowboys and Eagles got the same record. Cowboys are playing the Commanders. The Eagles are playing the Giants.
All right, so
this is going to sound his last game as the Commanders coach. He's got to go out a winner. Cowboys.
No, Cowboys are whooping that ass. They're tearing that ass up. I am saying that the Eagles are losing to the Giants.
Giants?
Yes, I actually do. Tyler, look, Tyrod Taylor starting. Oh, absolutely, they're winning. I think Dable, all that shit, like they've been when it comes to big teams like this, later in the season, not against the Cowboys or anything, they got toe up. But they started playing teams very tightly and almost getting it. How good would it be for the Giants fan base and all that stuff to be like, okay, we could win this game, we can spoil the Eagles and make them go down to like the 5th or 6th seed. So
yeah, I can also see the Eagles because they just have been so bad for so long, where they're just like, you know what, we're gonna throw in the towel for this game. We're not gonna play or start.
Exactly. That's what we're just gonna get ready for playoffs.
Yeah,
and it's like, okay, like I don't know how that's gonna help you. So yeah, I got the Giants winning.
I'm not gonna. Well, if the Eagles play their starters, I'll pick the Eagles. But if they don't, obviously I got the Giants.
Right.
I agree. The Cowboys are going to win either way.
Yeah. And if the Cowboys lose, I'm probably going to cry. So that means we're not ready. If they play starters and they lose, yeah. I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah. And last but not least, Sunday Night Football. The game. Games.
Yeah. This is
division for the 2 seed or the 7 seed, or possibly the Bills getting eliminated from the playoffs altogether. So
right, and it's like it's one of those things. What do they say? Somebody made a foolish comment where it's like, what if the Bills saw that the teams that basically like the teams that win that would knock them out already win, and it's like that means they said it as if their game wouldn't matter if they won. And I'm like, no, that's not how that works. Like if the Bills lost and those teams won, they're out. So
yeah.
But I think shit.
So if the Bills win, they're the 2 seed.
Yeah.
If the Bills lose, they can possibly be eliminated.
Right. And that's like the third, because I know it's either they're 6th, 7th, or out.
Yeah. So
yeah. Damn.
definitely a desperation game both ways. And then on the flip side for the Dolphins, the Dolphins just got embarrassed. And also the last time the Dolphins played the Bills, they got embarrassed. So I feel like the Dolphins have a lot to prove because they really have that narrative where it's just like, you guys can't beat a good team. You can't beat a team above 500.
And they're like, you respect us, and they still get clapped. So
also you got Tyreek who has, an outside shot to get the receiving record if he goes off, but he is capable of going off. And I'd imagine Tua and Mike McDaniel are gonna try to, do everything they can for him to get that record.
Right. At least give him the record, and then they'll be like, the MVP. See, it's like, no, if Cooper Kupp didn't win it, you're not winning.
Yeah.
It's like, get to 2000. Yes, you get it. I don't know. Basically, it comes down to, do you trust Mike McDaniel and Tua more, or Josh Allen and the Bills more?
You already know I trust Josh Allen and the Bills more.
I do too. No, like I don't even. He's like, what about the interceptions? Who cares? That's what he does. But he's gonna give you like 50 total touchdowns.
And you know what would be lovely, which was I stumbled upon this little nugget.
No.
So if the Bills do beat the Dolphins, that drops the Dolphins to the 6th seed.
Mm.
And you know what that means?
Nope.
First round, Chiefs Dolphins.
Oh.
I want that.
That's intriguing.
The London rematch, the Tyreek Hill revenge game, part 2. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I don't even think I was choosing the Dolphins anyway. Not after that ass whooping, and it's like they're so finesse. Like I don't see them beating the Bills.
Yeah.
And the Bills went from the scariest team in the league to they're still a nuclear team, honestly. Like they could be like one of those teams like, oh, we just shit the bed today and now we're trash. Or it could be like, we're gonna beat the fucking shit out of you and you just lost 30-10.
Yeah. And I'll keep it real. I would so much rather see the Bills as a 2 seed. And it's like, all right, if we got to play them in the AFC Championship game, I'll take that. But I'm not trying to see the Bills as a 7 seed, and then we're coming off a bye and we have to host Buffalo. Like,
Right.
Let us get a game under our belt and beat up on, Joe Flacco or the Dolphins or Trevor Lawrence, something like that.
Yeah. All right. I didn't choose. I'm choosing Bills. I trust Josh Allen in this situation more. Tua hasn't been in it like that. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm choosing Bills as well. And I do just gotta say, because this game doesn't matter, because the Niners already clinched the 1 seed, but we just gotta give some love to Sean McVay because the Rams clinched a playoff spot.
I look. I was telling y'all most of the year, hey, I think Rams might make it to the playoffs in the NFC. They're looking nasty. Yes, when Kyren Williams were out, they were what, 1-4, 1-3, something like that. Ugly. Yeah. I was like, okay, maybe not. Then he started coming back. Then you're like, yo, this is exactly what Sean McVay was probably like. They're dangerous, meaning Sean McVay's offense is at its best when it has a running back running 20, 15, 20 times 100 some odd yards. And then it opens up all the pass lanes to where Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp get busy underneath and over the top. This is like the dream scenario for Sean McVay. And honestly, a nightmare scenario for Niner fans. Because head to head, Sean McVay has beaten Kyle Shanahan in the more important spots. So if they do make it, no, they are in the playoffs already. They're the 7th or 6th.
They're the 6th seed right now.
Okay, so they're not going to face the Niners. No. If they were if the Rams were the 7th seed, it would have been. I'd be like, okay, Niners ought to be shaking in their fucking pants.
Well, all the Rams got to do is win their wild card game, and then they will face the Niners.
Is that how that works? Oh yeah, because probably the 7th seed would lose this. Oh yep, you're right. Okay.
Well,
we'll see.
The 7th seed might beat Dallas, so
no, hell no. But yeah, we'll see. But the Rams are going to be an interesting team to watch throughout the playoffs.
True. I can't wait. I sounded like Skip Bayless with that one. I can't wait. It's a terrible.
Oh.
But I was saying that to say, Tuesday we gonna be dropping our next episode. We're recording it Monday because it's gonna be playoff time. That's when we just gotta, once it's the playoffs, we gotta talk about it. We gotta be on point with it. So I can't wait to see how the playoff picture ends up shaking out.
And hell yeah!
What these first round wild card matchups will be, I guarantee you they're gonna put the Cowboys on the Monday night game again, just to fucking screw you guys. It's like, hey, you guys want one less day of recovery? You got it, because everybody wants to watch you play, buddy. So Monday night Cowboys. But anyways, that's gonna be a wrap, y'all. Episode 44.
44.
My fofo, make sure all your kids don't grow.
Use check.
Use check. Is that the best 44? Let's see.
No, it's not. I know there's another one.
That's 44. It's a white man. What's his name? You only get one guess.
The white man?
Yes.
Oh my god. 44?
Yes.
Yeah, safety?
44. He's a white man, and you only get one guess.
Okay. Who's AJ Hawk? Oh fuck! No! I already guessed. I was wrong. Who was it? Oh my gosh, Dwight Clark. Dallas Clark.
Oh my god. Are you ready for this? He's a white man. He played for the Los Angeles Lakers. He's the logo of the NBA.
Oh, I thought we're doing NFL. All right, that's not. Anyway, I wouldn't have guessed.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have guessed Jerry West. I wouldn't have guessed. I didn't know that old ass man's number.
You're a fake Lakers fan if you don't know Jerry West's number. The logo. Come on, man.
Damn. All right. I'm saying.
Meanwhile, Lakers are a game under 500.
Darvin Ham's getting fired, so.
Yeah, he's got to go. But it could be worse. It could be the Warriors, who are 3 games under 500. Don't forget, Jokic hit a game winner on you tonight. And like always, like and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. We'll be right back here in a couple days. Because, it's playoff time, baby.
Playoff time.
Playoffs?
Yeah. Playoffs? We're trying to win a game.
All right, we out, y'all.